Welcome back into the Enrichment Sports Source. This segment brought to you by our good friends at Tennova Healthcare. And all those folks at their numerous facilities all across East Tennessee wish you and yours a happy and safe New Year's and a wonderful 2014. We always appreciate Tennova Healthcare for being a part of this show. I specifically, because when I went through my cancer battle, they saved my life. Tennova Healthcare, can't give them a better plug than that. All right, back, and I want to talk about Tennessee hoops by the numbers in this segment. UT ranks third in the SEC in scoring defense. It's great, okay, third. All right. They're 13th in field goal percentage defense. So what gives? So we thought we'd look inside the numbers, and geeks like myself and Mark Pankratz over here follow Ken Pomeroy and his website, kenpom.com. The guy is a tremendous statistician. I don't know what a guru you would use. And I wanted to use some of the numbers he looks at to compare this Tennessee team to previous Tennessee teams. And let's start with what he calls raw defensive efficiency. All right, I'll let you look at that. The year is over there on your left. This is points per 100 possession. All right, how many points would you score in 100 possessions? Or would you allow? This is defense. Would you allow in 100 possessions? Their national rank. And then over there is what happened with the team, how far they got in the NCAA tournament, which round, NIT tournament. And if you look at Tennessee's winning percentage right now, it projects out to about a 20-12, so that'd probably be NIT. But when you look at that, those are the 9 years of Pearl and Martin. As you can see, Tennessee's fallen off a bit this year, but it's not so drastic a drop from the Pearl era. I mean, it's not night and day. The one great year in the Pearl era just happened to be the year they made it to the Elite Eight. No surprise there, that 93.4 points given up every 100 possessions. All right, so the defense really isn't as terrible as one might think in terms of efficiency. Let's look at the offense. Aha, that must be the problem. Well, not so much. There's not a huge drop there either. Actually, this year's team scoring 114.6 points per 100 possessions. That's effective. It's better than Martin's last 2 years, and also better than Pearl's last 2 years, better than his last 3 years, barely. When you look at that, that's a very efficient basketball team. So why are they not winning? What's the issue here? Let's take a look at tempo. Here's your change. There is your drop-off. You can see now tempo is how many possessions a team will have in a 40-minute game. Tennessee ranks 311th in the nation this year with only 64 possessions out of a 40-minute game. There are only 348 basketball schools. You rank 311. You can see Pearl's team slowed down those last 2 years, but nothing to the point that you're looking at last year and this year with Cuonzo Martin. So my question, you look at this, and the irony here, the irony is the fact that, and we broke this down at the time, Bruce Pearl's teams were driven crazy by efficient teams that didn't go up and down the court.
The Butlers of the world.
This Tennessee team would probably frustrate a Tennessee team coached by Bruce Pearl. We saw it time and time again. Efficient, don't turn the ball over a lot, slow. My question, I'll start with you, because a lot of folks out there wanted to see it just from an aesthetic reason. But when you look at those numbers, Tennessee's efficient on offense. Should they speed the thing up? Should they try? Could they?
Oh, I think we need to find a way to get easier baskets. That's our biggest problem right now. You look at those numbers and they're not terrible, but the problem is those numbers. I'd love to see them against the Xaviers, against the games that we lost, the bigger opponents. The grand scheme of it, we're okay, but we need to find a way to get easy baskets. You'll see that tomorrow night. If we can't get out in transition and get easy baskets, it's going to be a long night.
People have talked about it forever, that it's just more fun to watch an up-tempo team. They forget that anytime Tennessee lost under Bruce Pearl, the response was always, well, they're sloppy, they're up and down the court. So basically you want to see them win. But people want to see a faster game. Does this give you any reason to think that maybe they really should be playing faster? Or is that taking way too much out of these numbers?
I think it's fair to say people definitely want to see them play faster. And I thought against Moorhead, their last game, they made it a real point of doing that. And you saw Josh Richardson have a really nice game because, like Mark said, this team needs to find some easy baskets. In a half-court set, you don't have a lot of guys who are going to work the shot clock, come off cuts, and hit a 19, 20-footer consistently. But if you can get – you got guys on this team who are really better at running and slashing and getting to the rim. So I think playing a faster tempo, yes.
Chuck?
Well, I mean, you've touched on all of the things I was saying. How many easy baskets do you get off transition? If you preach great defense, that's the reward. And we haven't seen that. And the other thing is, too, steals and three-point shooting. This team doesn't seem to get enough steals, and your three-point shooting, if you start missing, has been horrible. You want to improve your points per possession. Hit some of those threes.
Bob?
Well, I just wonder if it goes back and when you compare and contrast what Pearl does with what Martin has done. Is the slower tempo one of the reasons it seems like when Cuonzo Martin's team gets down by 10 points, game over? It doesn't seem like they respond that, okay, we're down, now we got to pick up the pace, we've got to do things. Is this part of the problem? You and I had talked the other day, it just seemed like Bruce Pearl's teams won more close ball games than Cuonzo Martin's teams did. Is this one of the reasons? Is this team plays itself out of games by limiting its number of possessions?
And I haven't looked at the numbers, so that could just be a perception, but I agree with
I mean, it very well could just be a perception.
Thoughts on this team, the athletes on the team. Is this squad built for a different style of basketball?
Well, I think you, like Mike kind of hit on, you don't have any guys that can break down somebody off the dribble and go get somebody else a shot. Antonio's not that guy. Josh Richardson's not that guy. Jordan is really your only guy that can do that, and that's why his shooting percentages kind of are what they are. So, the tempo thing is if we can create more easy opportunities, I think, again, we like to say offense doesn't affect your defense. Right. But if you can get some guys some easy open looks, get Jarnell and Jerron some easy shots, all of a sudden they're a lot more excited to go on that other end and play defense. So we got to pick up the pressure.
One more interesting note, I'm just going to throw this out here from the Ken Pomeroy's website, talking about the teams that have given Tennessee trouble this year. Offensive efficiency, we showed it there to you, where Tennessee ranked. But in terms of their opponents, teams that score 106 points, 106.2 specifically, 106.2 over 100 possessions. Teams that do that, Tennessee's 1-4 against those this year. And the one win came against Xavier, who also beat you. So that's kind of a conspicuous, it's a shaky one. They're 6-0 against teams that are below 106.2. Virginia, 106.2, dead on it. So wow. we'll have a scouting report from Mark Pankratz coming up a little later in the show.
So you could kind of use that as a betting guide.
That's right. Don't tell Chuck. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Sterling, Bobby. We're going to talk a little football year in review. We're going to look at bowl games. We have some special guests when we come back. Some state champion guests. Come on back on the Enrichment Sports Source.
Miss an episode of the Enrichment Sports Source? Catch up online at sportsource.tv.